What's up everybody? My name is Breanna Rutter, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how I did my Senegalese Twist Cornrow braids. You can also call this style rope cornrows or rope braids as well, because you're not going to be braiding your hair, but instead you're going to be rope twisting your hair on your scalp. As you can see, I use colored braiding hair to achieve this look. So give me a big thumbs up if you want me to do more tutorials with colored hair. So now without further ado, let's jump right into this look. The hair color I decided to use for this style is called wine red, which means it's a very deep dark red color. You can also mix in a little bit of black braiding hair per rope braid if you so choose. So for starters, you want to make sure that your hair is very smooth. If you have coarse textured hair like me, you want to go ahead and straighten it. So really quick, I'm just showing you an overview of how I like to straighten out my hair before I begin doing any style to it. I prefer to make sure that it's sleek because it gives me my best result. Now I'm taking a hot comb and I'm gliding it just mostly on the roots of my hair, and then I'm taking it out of my hair before it goes down the length because I'm only focusing on pressing out the roots of my hair. So now this is how it looks, and it literally looks like I got a fresh relaxer. Now I do have relaxed hair, but my roots have been growing out for a little bit over 5 months because I was on an edge growth journey. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and begin sectioning our hair because you're gonna do 6 braids on each side. Now a technique that I recently love doing is pre-sectioning. Even though I can kind of just eyeball it and part it myself, I noticed that I get more of a definite size per twist or braid. So first I put it in 4 sections because each section is going to have 3 braids or 3 rope braids, giving me a total of 12 Senegalese Twist Cornrows. So for each section, as you see here, I'm just pre-parting it and using some clips to help keep those parts sectioned. So now as you can see here, I have 12 clips in my hair, and this is how you should look at this point. I highly suggest that you pre-part the very beginning of your hair because it gives you the perfect guide for knowing how far to part your hair back. So now here is the braiding hair, and I'm going to show you how I prepare it because I like to divide it into 4 sections. The reason why is because it's going to give my twist a perfect size. Now because I have 12 twists that I will be doing, I'm going to be using 3 packages of hair because each package of hair is going to be divided into 4 sections. 4 sections times 3 is 12. Basic simple math. So now as you see here, I'm just tying it into a knot to preserve each section. What I like to do is make each section a little bigger or a little smaller so they're not identical. That's because as you progress throughout your twist, you're going to notice that some of your sections will need just slightly more hair. So now these are how all the sections look, and it's going to be 1 section per rope cornrow braid. So now I'm just going to unravel the first one, and then I'm going to show you how I feather the ends. It's extremely important to feather the ends of your hair because it's going to help your style to not unravel. If you notice your braids or twists always unravel, that's because it needs to end with a finer point, meaning you need to feather the ends of your hair. Now I prefer to feather per section because then I have 0 wasted braiding hair. So as you can see here, this is how the ends look, and then right before you begin twisting, you just clean it up with some scissors. Another way you can prep your braiding hair is you can use a wig brush, and then you can just apply medium tension to the hair by lightly brushing through, so that way you're dragging a few pieces irregularly. It's going to give you a feathered effect near the ends of your section of braiding hair. So now we're going to use some Jam Super Hold Gel. And what you want to do is you want to use a little bit and you want to apply it to your part. The reason why is because this is going to give you a very clean parting on your scalp, so that way your Senegalese cornrow braids will look very neat. So now as you can see here, I'm just putting a little bit in the beginning so that way I can slick back my edges. I prefer now with literally all of my braids and twists to actually slick back my edges first and then begin braiding. So that way I'm not putting much tension on my hairline. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the braiding hair on our index finger, and then we're going to start with that first section in the beginning. So now we're going to begin Senegalese twisting our hair. If you ever did an individual rope twist before, you can see that this is not a foreign concept, but you have to overlap the section and then feed in some of your real hair onto the other leg, and this is where it can get a little tricky on the eyes. But trust me, as long as you follow this tutorial along with me by doing it on your hair or on someone else's hair, you're going to get this in no time. So what you want to do every time you twist going towards your face is you want to overlap the next piece underneath. So that way you can twist it, hold it to the side, and repeat the same technique. There's literally only 4 steps to doing this actual Senegalese cornrow braid. So you just twist the hair into your section, overlap, hold it to the side, and then grab your new section. So it's literally a rinse and repeat process. I don't want you to waste your time or your money attempting to do this style without actually following all the techniques I'm teaching you. So now I'm gonna tell you once again exactly how you want to twist. So first, after you finish twisting the hair, you overlap the next section underneath the previous section. Now, as you can see, I'm rotating the hair going towards my face. But when I overlap both sections, the section on the left goes underneath the section that was in my right hand, as you see here. Every time you rotate, you want to do 2 more twists to keep the left side secure. Then you want to add some of your real hair on the right side and overlap it. Now, this style actually can be worn in very small twists, or you can do even larger sections. The same technique you do when you do a rope twist going away from your head is literally the same technique you do on your scalp. The only difference is you grab a little bit of hair from your scalp while twisting, because it's kind of doing a feed-in technique, as you see here. You're feeding a little bit of your real hair into each leg of your Senegalese twist. Now, one thing that's gonna make this very easy for you is to make sure that when you're twisting, you twist each leg about 4 times before you overlap it. Because if you only twist each leg twice, it's going to be a little loose, and then it's not going to make your Senegalese cornrow look very smooth and consistent. So you literally just do it going all the way to the bottom, grabbing the tiniest amounts of hair all the way down the back of your head until you've completely cornrow or Senegalese twisted on your scalp. So now that I left my scalp, I rotate my hands, and I'm showing you how I do this because so many of you say, wait, you never show how you rotate your hands in front. It's literally that simple. And if you have any issues doing that, just use a clip to hold your twist and then free your hands and then begin twisting again. I do that all the time. As you're twisting your hair, if you do not want it to unravel, listen carefully. You want to make sure that when you feed in pieces of hair, you twist very tight. Not every Senegalese twist is going to be even, because not every side of your head is even in length. As you can see, the twist that's closest to my ear is shorter than the twist that progresses along the way up towards the middle of my head. That means that as you progress along by doing more Senegalese twists, you have to feed in small amounts of hair. The way that you feed in hair is you want to check for thickness of twist and length. So if the twist feels a little thinner than the previous one you just done, you want to add a little bit more hair. And if it's a little too short, you want to add a little bit near the end so they all can be the same length. Even when you're near the very end, you have to continue to twist. And as you can see, the ends of this twist is very thin. Now I'm gonna show you a technique if it's a little too long for you to twist all the way down. You wanna use a clip and you wanna hold the twist together and then continue twisting. It's extremely simple and easy to do. I did this technique when I did my box braids to the floor hairstyle. So if you wanna see that look, go ahead and refer back to my previous video so that you can see how I box braided my hair to the floor. So now after you finish twisting, this is how your ends should look almost invisible. You see that? You can barely notice it. This is going to prevent your twist from unraveling. So now this is just a quick overview of how my hair looks so far. And remember, I'm gonna show you one more example so that you can see the technique of how to do it slightly differently. So now this is how the ends of the twist look. And at this point, you can go ahead and dip in hot water to seal as well. So now I'm on my very last rope cornrow braid. And as you can see here, you're doing the same exact process. Now the only difference is that I like to use my middle finger to hook the next section so that it's a little more easier on my wrist. Because if you're a braider, you notice that your wrist sometimes will get a little fatigued or your fingers will get a little fatigued. So just use the rest of your fingers to make it a little bit easier on you. Also, while twisting your hair, as you can see throughout these scenes, I am not parting on my scalp. I am not using a comb to part. What I am doing is I'm using my index finger to hook some new hair, and then I begin continue twisting going all the way down to the back. So in order for you to do this style, you can't just watch it. You have to also do it with me. So after you watch this video, come back and watch it again while doing this on your hair or someone else's hair. So that way you can get down this technique. Now I know I have a lot of viewers who watch my videos, so if you've never commented on any of my videos before, show me some love for the first time and let me know what you think of this hairstyle. So now as you near the back of your head, what you want to do is make sure to pinch smaller amounts of hair. So that way your twist does not end too soon. If you notice that the back of your neck is always super tight when you do braids or twists, that's because you're grabbing too much hair to add to your section. When you're near the very beginning of your hair, as far as where your hairline is, you grab small sections. Now the distance in the middle of your head is longer than the distance on the side of your head. So as you can see here, you're going to need to feed in a lot of pieces of braiding hair. And look at this, it's super easy to do. You just hook it onto your hair, you twist one side, and then you begin twisting the other side as if you didn't add any hair. That way you have a very seamless look to your twist. If you feel like your twist is a little bit on the thinner side, grab a larger chunk of braiding hair. If your twist is just a little too short to meet the rest of the length of your twist, then just add a little bit of hair along the way. So that way it's not super thick at the bottom. So as you can see here, I add a smaller piece to make it a little longer now because it's the right thickness. I just twist it on one side and then I continue to twist on the next side. When twisting your hair, make sure to occasionally use a comb or a brush to smooth out your braiding hair. And as you can see here, every time I rotate my hands, I always twist a little bit and then I drag my fingers going down the hair so I can keep it smooth all the way through. If you have lumpy textured hair near the ends, it will unravel. Smooth and twist, smooth and twist. So now it's time to style up our edges, and I like to use this cute little hairbrush here, and I like to use a Style Factor Edge Booster Edge Control. Now it doesn't matter what scent because they pretty much all work the same, but it's really your preference. They have so many scents. You can do the peach scent, the grape scent, watermelon scent, whatever rocks your boat. So as you can see here, I'm applying a little bit of edge control, and like I said, I made sure that when I was twisting my hair, I made sure to slick my edges back so that I didn't put any tension on my hairline. Because honey, like literally earlier this year, I had lost my edges and then I figured out how to grow them back, of course. So if you want to see my video on how I lost my edges and how I grew it back, refer to one of my recent videos that I did so you can check that out, because it was crazy wearing all these different styles and things on my hair to lose my edges. I was so heartbroken. But of course, I'm a hair expertise, so I wanted to make sure that I did all the techniques necessary to grow them back, and now I'm very happy with how my edges look. So if you have issues growing your edges, let me know down below in the comments. Do you have issues with how thick your edges are or the length of your edges? Do you have any like bald spot areas that you need help growing back? Let me know in the comments below. And this is how my edges look after doing a little bit of styling with some edge control. If you like this style, let me know down in the comments, and let me know what other colors you would love for me to do with this look. I had so much fun creating this style, and I've done previous videos on this look as well. So if you want to see different techniques, make sure to check it out. And thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure to leave comments down below because it helps my videos a lot to know what you want to see from me. And until then, see y'all next time. Bye bye.